Snake Eyes is a 2021 action thriller film directed by Robert Schwentke and starring Henry Golding in the titular role. The film serves as a reboot of the G.I. Joe film franchise, focusing on the character of Snake Eyes, a skilled ninja warrior and member of the elite military unit known as G.I. Joe. The film follows Snake Eyes as he embarks on a dangerous mission to uncover the truth behind his father's death. Along the way, he becomes entangled with the Yakuza, a powerful Japanese crime syndicate, and forms a bond with a fellow warrior named Storm Shadow, played by Koji. With pulse-pounding action sequences, intense martial arts choreography, and a gripping plot filled with twists and turns, Snake Eyes is a thrilling ride from start to finish. Whether you're a longtime fan of the G.I. Joe franchise or just looking for an adrenaline-fueled action movie, Snake Eyes is a must-see film. The main characters in the 2021 film Snake Eyes are Snake Eyes, played by Henry Golding. Snake Eyes is a skilled ninja warrior who is seeking to uncover the truth about his father's death. Tommy Arashikage/Storm Shadow, played by Koji. Storm Shadow is a rival ninja warrior who becomes entangled with Snake Eyes on his mission. Akiko, played by Haruka. Akiko is a member of the Arashikage clan and serves as a mentor to Snake Eyes. Kenta, played by Takahiro Hira. Kenta is a member of the Yakuza and serves as the film's primary antagonist. Scarlet, played by Samara Weaving. Scarlet is a member of the G.I. Joe team who appears in a supporting role. Baroness, played by Ursula Corbero. Baroness is a member of the Cobra organization who also appears in a supporting role.
A young boy is orphaned when his father is murdered. Years later, the boy has grown into a talented and deadly martial arts fighter, driven by a desire to avenge his father. To conceal his true identity, he calls himself Snake Eyes, a name inspired by watching his father's murderer force him to roll a pair of dice to determine his fate. His father was killed when he rolled double ones. While working at a fish factory, Snake Eyes is approached by a wealthy Yakuza boss, Kenta, who offers to find his father's killer if Snake Eyes works for him. When Snake Eyes is asked to prove his loyalty by shooting a man who betrayed Kenta's trust, Snake Eyes deliberately misses a shot and helps the traitor escape. The traitor is revealed to be Kenta's cousin, Tommy. Tommy and Kenta were both in line to lead Clan Arashikage, an ancient society devoted to preserving order and fighting evil. Kenta sought to kill his brother, but failed, and was banished. Grateful to Snake Eyes for helping him escape, Tommy takes Snake Eyes to his clan and asks that he be initiated as a member. The current clan leader, Tommy's grandmother Sen, agrees to let Snake Eyes undergo 3 trials to determine whether he is worthy of membership. The clan's head of security, Akiko, doesn't trust Snake Eyes, but he wins her trust by revealing his sincerity to join the clan and finally avenge himself on his father's killer. The two gradually start to form a romantic attachment. Unbeknownst to anyone, Snake Eyes plans to betray his new allies. Tommy's attempted murder and escape is shown to have been staged by Kenta in order to get Snake Eyes close enough to steal the clan's most sacred treasure, the Jewel of the Sun. Snake Eyes finds himself increasingly torn between his guilt over betraying Tommy and his clan, and his overwhelming desire for revenge. He passes the first 2 trials with his exceptional talents, and learns that the 3rd and final trial requires his spirit to be tested by sacred anacondas, who know whether or not he is truly pure of heart. Due to Snake Eyes' subterfuge, the snakes expose him as untrustworthy. Confronted by the clan, Snake Eyes admits that he has not been honest, but manages to hide the true reason he betrayed the clan. As a consequence, he is expelled. Snake Eyes returns in secret and steals the jewel using his knowledge of the clan's temple, delivering it to Kenta. Kenta explains that he is stealing the jewel on behalf of a terrorist organization known as Cobra. Cobra, through their liaison, the Baroness, has been arming Kenta with weapons so that he can seize control of Clan Arashikage. Snake Eyes receives his reward for stealing the jewel, his father's killer, who turns out to be a Cobra agent. Having realized what his bloodlust has cost him, Snake Eyes spares the man and instead goes back to Clan Arashikage to warn them of Kenta's attack. Tommy puts aside his anger and lets Snake Eyes assist him and the clan's warriors, including a red-haired woman with a crossbow, in fighting off Kenta's men. After Kenta admits that he has no intention of handing over the jewel, the Baroness abandons him and defects to the clan side. With his men defeated, Kenta loses the jewel to Tommy, who in his fury tries to use its power to murder his brother. Kenta manages to escape, but Snake Eyes traps him in the Anaconda Pit, where the snakes devour Kenta upon sensing his evil spirit. They judge Snake Eyes to be pure of heart for foregoing his revenge and thus he becomes worthy to join the clan. After the fight, Sen tells Tommy that he is no longer fit to lead the clan as he broke their vow to never use the jewel. Enraged at being denied his birthright, Tommy forsakes the clan and his own family. Snake Eyes meets with the red-haired woman, Scarlet, who explains that his father was a G.I. Joe agent, part of an international peacekeeping organization of which she is also a member. Having completed her service to Clan Arashikage, she offers to bring Snake Eyes with her so he can see whether he would be interested in becoming a Joe. The Baroness locates Tommy, who now calls himself Storm Shadow, and recruits him into Cobra. Here are some audience reviews of the movie Snake Eyes 2021. I love this movie. The action scenes were incredible and the storyline was very engaging. Henry Golding did an amazing job as Snake Eyes, and I hope to see him in more action movies in the future. I'm a big fan of the G.I. Joe franchise, and I have to say that Snake Eyes exceeded my expectations. The movie had great character development, and the fight scenes were some of the best I've seen in a while. Highly recommend. As someone who's not familiar with the G.I. Joe franchise, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. The storyline was easy to follow and the action scenes were impressive. Definitely worth watching. Snake Eyes was a fun action movie. The cast did a great job, especially Henry Golding as Snake Eyes. The movie had a good mix of action and humor, and it kept me entertained throughout. Many viewers seem to have enjoyed the movie and recommend it to others. Here are some audience reviews of the movie Snake Eyes 2021. I love this movie. The action scenes were incredible and the storyline was very engaging. Henry Golding did an amazing job as Snake Eyes, and I hope to see him in more action movies in the future. I'm a big fan of the G.I. Joe franchise, and I have to say that Snake Eyes exceeded my expectations. The movie had great character development, and the fight scenes were some of the best I've seen in a while. Highly recommend. As someone who's not familiar with the G.I. Joe franchise, I was pleasantly surprised by how much I enjoyed this movie. The storyline was easy to follow and the action scenes were impressive. Definitely worth watching. Snake Eyes was a fun action movie. The cast did a great job, especially Henry Golding as Snake Eyes. The movie had a good mix of action and humor, and it kept me entertained throughout. Many viewers seem to have enjoyed the movie and recommend it to others. What about your opinion? Please leave it in the comments section.
Snake Eyes is a 2021 American action film directed by Robert Schwentke and starring Henry Golding in the titular role. Here are some trivia facts about the movie. Snake Eyes is a spin-off of the G.I. Joe franchise, which was popular in the 1980s as a toy line and animated TV series. Henry Golding, who plays the lead role of Snake Eyes, is best known for his role in Crazy Rich Asians. The film features a diverse cast, with actors from Japan, South Korea, and Canada, among other countries. The fight scenes in the movie were choreographed by Kenji Tanigaki, who previously worked on films like Kill Bill and The Matrix Reloaded. The movie was filmed in multiple locations, including Japan, Vancouver, and Los Angeles. In the film, Snake Eyes is portrayed as a more complex character than in previous iterations of the G.I. Joe franchise, with a backstory and motivations that are explored throughout the movie. The movie includes appearances by other G.I. Joe characters, including Scarlet, Baroness, and Storm Shadow. The film was produced by Lorenzo di Bonaventura, who also produced the previous G.I. Joe movies, as well as the Transformers franchise. A sequel to the film has not been officially announced, but the ending of the movie sets up potential for future installments in the franchise. Remember to click like and follow to watch the next movies with me. Goodbye and see you again.